In this episode, guys, I'm going to be sharing various ways to automate your life so you can free up your most precious resource, time, okay? If you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, I want you to listen to this episode so you can learn how to go from frazzled to feeling free. By the end of the episode, you're going to know how to get your time back so that you can focus on the things that really light you up, the things that bring you value. And before we jump into this amazing value that I want to provide in this episode today, I wanted to be sure to let you know that I'm launching very soon my own planner called the modAmbition Planner. And I want you to know it's not just a planner, it's a goal-getting system that's going to help ambitious women like you have it all without the overwhelm. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about actually what the planner is about, I have pictures now. You can just go to signup.modambition.com and you can learn all about this goal-getting planner. And I hope that you like it, and you can sign up for the waiting list there as well. Again, it's signup.modambition.com. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. I think it's going to be a game changer. So Paul J. Meyer said, productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort. So this way of thinking directly aligns with the three modAmbition pillars, which are plan, prepare, and execute. And in this episode, that's what we're going to focus on, is the last pillar, that execute pillar. The strategies on automating your life are going to help you execute the things that are most important to you, and to help you also achieve your goals in life with more ease, and so you can have more time for what actually matters. I love how Jason Patel described automation in an article excerpt that says, quote, "The average person makes 35,000 decisions a day, and studies show that decision-making fatigue is real. Perhaps paradoxically, every act of making decision limits our ability to make decisions later. Reducing your number of daily decisions is going to be a form of automation that will help you tremendously," he says. So automation means streamlining processes, limiting distractions, and saving time and effort. It means clearing your mind of clutter and spending your day on what matters, end quote. Being a mom, being a psychologist, being a manifestation coach, being an entrepreneur, and being a content creator, not to mention a friend and a daughter and a wife. If you're a multi-passionate person like me, you might sometimes struggle with the urge to have more time, or the desire to be able to get things off your plate that don't really fill you up. But there are usually things that need to get done, like cleaning and paying the bills and administrative tasks. And usually when we talk about taking things off of our plate that aren't fulfilling, we think about two things. We think about automation and we think about delegation. And delegation is great, but it's also expensive, and it's not always possible, either because we don't have the support, or we don't have the resources, or we don't have a person that we can feel that can do it in the right way. So that's where automation can come in really clutch and help you when delegation isn't really possible. So let's jump right into these strategies for automating your life and having more freedom. The first thing I want to talk about is automating cleaning. According to an article in Better Humans, a recent study of 2,000 Americans commissioned by Arm & Hammer Clean and Simple found that on average, Americans spend about 23 hours and 36 minutes on cleaning and housework per month. Guys. That's more than half of a work week spent doing repetitive tasks that don't offer the opportunity for growth. So I think I shared with you guys before that we do have a cleaning team that does come on and help us every other week. They used to come weekly. Now we've moved to bi-weekly. However, having two kids, you can imagine that the house doesn't stay clean in between these time periods of them coming. So I have to come up with automation tools and systems to help me maintain my home between those cleanings. So if you can't delegate your cleaning as much as you want, or maybe not at all, automation is going to be a way that's going to help you stay on top of things, but allow you not to spend your life constantly cleaning. So here are my strategies I suggest to help you out automating cleaning at home and free up more time. The first thing you can look into is something called the Fly Lady routine, which is basically scheduled and batch cleaning. So you may have heard of the Fly Lady routine. It's basically scheduled and batch cleaning that is going to help you get things more done in a way that it's not building up. You can just search the internet if you want to find more out about this cleaning system that really helps you stay on top of your cleaning by specifically delegating tasks to each day and routines for each day that you can get into. So by the end of the week, your whole house is clean, and by the end of the month and quarters, your house is also deep clean. The larger idea behind this is that you don't let all of it stack up into one day. You take it bit by bit each day with simple cleaning routines that help you stay on top of things. The way I've integrated the Fly Lady routine way of thinking is simply just by making my own way of doing things. I haven't done it exactly toe to toe, but I've done certain things that I'm going to share with you now that have helped me take on the ideology behind that system and make it work for my own life. So the first thing I do is I have declutter sessions, about 10 to 15 minutes each day, where I just focus on one part of the house. Part of the house that's getting cluttered a lot now is our bar cart, because it is right by the door where we come in and throw things down, and we just kind of always take things from the kids that they don't need to have and put things on this bar cart because it's so tall and they can't reach it. So I find myself recently spending a lot of my declutter sessions on this bar cart. But really, decluttering just helps you clear your mind, right? It helps you feel less overstimulated, and it's something that has really become an important part of my routine and helping the house stay tidy, just those 10 to 15 minutes. Another thing is cleaning routines, right? They're a really helpful way of automating your cleaning so that you don't have to think about it and you don't have to spend like a Saturday or weekend cleaning. So I have my morning cleaning routine after my husband takes the kids to school, where I clean up the kitchen, unload the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, straighten up the living room, pick up anything that needs to go in the laundry basket. I also have an evening routine at the end of the night that's very strong. When my kids are down for bed, we clean up the kitchen, we kind of organize, straighten things up. It only takes about 10 or 15 minutes for each of these routines. Again, this helps declutter, helps you get rid of things stay tidy. You might not even realize how overstimulating these sort of clutter is, and that's a good way to automate doing that. And then lastly, for cleaning automation, I have batch days for my laundry. I currently do my loads on Saturday and fold on Sunday. We used to have the cleaning team help us with folding. So if you want to pay less, you could wash the clothes for your cleaning team and they could just fold it. That's what we were doing before. Now I'm doing both because we're trying to save some money on the cleaning bill. So we do it on Saturdays, fold it on Sundays. It's been working for us. Layla even tries to help. And then I know some people that have a routine of automating their laundry by just doing a little bit each day, having a load each day, folding it and putting it away at the end of the night so it doesn't gather to one day. So that's really about preference on how frequent you want to do it, but they're both good ways of thinking about automating it so it's not so overwhelming or something you have to think up, or you look up and you have like 3 weeks of pile of laundry to do. We don't want those. So now I want to move on to more technology ways to automate your life. These are things that are going to help you kind of delegate/automate, right? So maybe I'm dating myself with this, but do you guys remember the Lucy and Ethel episode where they're working at the chocolate factory assembly line? It was supposed to be this nice automated process, and they just had to do very simple things to keep the factory automated and doing the wrapping up the chocolate as it was coming out. However, if you've seen the episode, the machine became too fast and just too much for them to handle. And in that very funny episode, it's also a metaphor for sometimes how we try to automate our lives. If we don't have the right technology, things can actually be harder than easy. So I'm calling this section of the episode, There's an App for That. So with all the SaaS, right, the services software companies, we have this revolution of software solutions in order to make our lives easier. And I think that we're leaving time on the table if we don't capitalize on using some of these apps and technologies to make our lives easier. I think they're great solutions because they are much more affordable than delegating to a person. And if you can find ways to use these apps and technology without hiring like a personal assistant, then that's definitely a win-win. So there's an app for that when it comes to automating your life. First up, car washing. The first thing I want to share is that you can automate your car washing by using an app that will bring the car wash to you. There's an app called Mobile Wash to where you can easily use this app and they will bring the car wash to your house at your convenience. You don't even have to think about it. So if you don't like car washing or you want to save time, or whoever does it, your husband wants to save time, this could be a good way to automate that part of your life and free up time to spend together or do fun things on the weekend. Also, automatic bill pay and bookkeeping apps. This next one is for entrepreneurs out there, or even if you're the one in your family that handles the bookkeeping or the bill pay. I know that most people do not like taking time out of their day to bill pay, so just put it on auto pay, sis. If you haven't done this, this is really like a low-hanging fruit that you can do to automate your life, and that probably a lot of you guys are already doing. It's just so easy and frees up so much time. And if you're an entrepreneur and you're still manually doing your bookkeeping, there's definitely an app for that. I personally hate bookkeeping. I hate accounting, all those things. So any help I can get in this area of my life, I'm totally down. Of course, I use a software called Xero, Xero. And I know a lot of people like QuickBooks, but for me, being an e-commerce person, I have found that Xero is more intuitive for me to use, especially if you're selling things on Amazon and Shopify. There's also an app called A2X that integrates with Xero that makes things really easy, so you don't have to try to figure out how to label all those crazy invoices that come from Amazon and Shopify, and it'll help you kind of automate that part of the bookkeeping process, saving you time to spend on more important things in your business. Another thing you might want to automate with an app is grocery shopping. I don't personally automate this because I enjoy grocery shopping. So either I or my husband and Layla go, and I will stay home with Christian. But I know a lot of people that do this, and we have done this in the past too. And it's been really such a time saver. So when we're using an app to automate our grocery shopping, we're using Instacart, but I know there's also Amazon Fresh. So just pick whichever one that you like the most and that you're satisfied with. Another app is a Thermostat app. So we have the Nest if you want to just save like a fraction of time. And remember, all this time adds up, right? Put your thermostat on a schedule so you're not having to constantly go back and forth to change your thermostat throughout the day and the night. It's kind of just done for you. We use the heat cool system, so it never goes below, I think, 69 and never goes above 72. So that's just a little time hack that can add up in the end and just save you frustration. Another thing is email filters. That is another form of technology that can help you automate your life, especially in Apple Mail and Gmail. The moving on to email filters is something that I've just done in the last couple of years. My email was kind of like a mess and I wanted to kind of get a hold of it. So if you're in a journey where you want to start saving time in your email, a good place to start is to use email filters. One of the ways that they've been helpful is because I don't want to off task that email organization because I just feel like I'm going to miss something. So if you feel that way too, starting with technology with filters could be a good way that you get some organization, you get some help with your emails, but in a way that you still feel like you have control over the process. Next up, when it comes to, there's an app for that to automate your life. You want to get your apps talking so you can save time. You can use an app called If This Then That to repost your Instagrams to Twitter, things like that. So especially if you have redundant tasks, getting your apps talking to each other is going to be really helpful. As if you're also a content creator, getting them to talk, if you repurpose content, could be helpful. Speaking of that, I also like later.com and the Later app to schedule all my content as far as Instagram and Facebook go and Twitter. I use it for all my Instagram accounts. It's really pretty simple and it's very helpful as well. Also, I do not like to remember things. I want to save up as much mind space as I can. And so I use a lot of calendar reminders to remind me to do things like plan, to do my morning routine, to review my last quarter. I put all those on reminders so it's automated to remind me and I don't have to hold that space in my mind, right? It happens automatically and I can free up that kind of mind space to do other things in my life. And a pro tip, if you're going to use calendars or reminders in your phone to remember things, is sometimes those reminder apps or the calendar notifications aren't enough to get you to do something. You kind of just dismiss it. So if it's something you really need to remember and you don't want to forget, a good way to automate it is to use an alarm and not one of those reminders in your reminder app, because alarm, you have to really pay much more attention. So now I want to move on to another automation strategy that can help you save time and be more free, which is to use subscriptions. And I know a lot of times you might get offers for subscriptions and your initial reaction is, I don't want to subscribe to something. I don't want something else automatically coming out of my bank account, right? However, there is a time and a place where subscriptions are more helpful to have them to save than thinking about saving money in that way. You can think about time as another resource that you also want to save. So here's some subscriptions that I currently use that are game changers in saving me time and energy. The first one is Love Every. This subscription I recommend because it helps me not have to think about toys for my toddler. It's basically a Montessori and toy subscription that comes each quarter. I love it because I don't even have to think about it. Okay, it's where I don't have to think about where she is developmentally and what's going on to help her thrive. It just kind of thinks about that already. So all the toys are geared to her development and helping her develop. And they're really great quality toys. So I can even save them and pass them on to my son Christian as well. So that's really one subscription that I'm loving. And speaking of toddlers, another subscription that you may want to consider if you do have kiddos that may be able to help you is Toddler Milk It. So we all want to have our toddlers and our kids eat the same thing as us. But let's face it, if your kids are like anything like my kids, sometimes they're picky eaters, and that doesn't always happen that they eat whatever I cook for me and my husband. And sometimes we just end up throwing things away. And honestly, many times you probably end up making them their own meals just to make sure that they eat and still get something nutritious, right? So if you have a toddler that has some of these picky eating nights, there's many subscription meal kits for toddlers out there that you can order that can kind of automate that part of your life. It's maybe even for a short time because as they grow, I'm sure they get more exposed to foods. But if it's something that stresses you out, subscribing to a toddler meal kit could be helpful, as well as we also subscribe to, well, I don't subscribe to a toddler meal kit now. Currently, I have a whole system for that in my meal planning, but I know other people that find it helpful. We also subscribe to Christian's formula, although he's stopping formula soon, so we just canceled it. But for a while, it was very helpful. I didn't have to think about going back and ordering his formula all the time, which is what I did with Layla. And it was something that just came and was ready and automated. We didn't have to think about. And then another subscription that I automate is my makeup staples. So like my NARS concealer, my NARS tinted moisturizer. I'm a NARS girl. So I just go on Amazon, put that on autopilot, saves me time. Again, those little bits of time that I can get here and there definitely add up. Next, I wanted to put your manifestation on autopilot. So if you don't know what manifesting is, it's just a method of reaching your goals and getting what you want in life. And as a manifestation coach, I really preach to my clients about infusing your life with automations that are going to make manifesting what you want really, really easy and really simple. And so automating it and putting it all on autopilot is usually what I teach. So here are the basic ways that I teach my clients on how to infuse manifesting into their everyday life. 1, infuse your day with routines that are going to help you get to where you want to go. 2, create routines to feel good, to work on your mindset, and to take actions that will bring you closer to what you want. And 3, use morning, day, evening routines filled with manifestation techniques like visualizations, focus wheels, and vision boards. Okay, so the last strategy I want to share to automate your life is to use preparation systems. This form of automating is about using systems that your future self will thank you for, which I think is a term that I got from Kendra Adachi of The Lazy Genius. But essentially, just think about how you can create systems in your life that are going to help you automatically feel more prepared for a segment of your life that you're moving into. You can think of these as habits and tools that prepare you to live life more easily. The first preparation system is meal planning and preparing at the beginning of the week. So let me tell you, I am so thankful to my past self when I'm in the middle of the week and I'm at the end of the day and I'm tired after working a long day and I'm walking into the kitchen and I don't have to think about what I'm going to cook. I just look at the meal plan and I automatically get to work without even having to think. That seems to be a theme of this episode, not wanting to think or not spend time in the moment trying to prepare what it is that I'm going to do. Because quite frankly, at the end of the day, I don't have the energy to think about these type of things. And it just makes life so much easier that I already thought about it. And in the time that I'm doing it, it also saves me energy. And there's an app called Menu Planner app that can make meal planning for you much easier if you guys want to check that out. I personally just use a whiteboard that has the days of the week on the left side and lunch, dinner, and kids at the top, and I just fill in the blank spots. And also at the bottom of the whiteboard, I have a grocery list for my grocery store list, that things I need to get, things I need to order on Amazon, and things I need to get at Costco. And I just take a picture of that before we go to any of those stores. Shortcuts are another easy way to have systems in your life to prepare and automate things, especially in your work life, like keyboard shortcuts and email signatures. So the way that you would use an email signature as a shortcut is, let's just say you have a client asking you for something that you get asked a lot of the time. All you would have to do is click on that email signature with the pre-populated response and just send it off. And it saves you a lot of time by automating things in that way. Lastly, when it comes to preparation systems, reduce decision fatigue by narrowing down your choices and preparing your choices beforehand. A great example of this is choosing what you're going to wear, or you can be like me and just in general choose what you're going to wear in life beforehand. So I only wear neutrals, so I don't even have to think about that. And I don't wear patterns either. So it really narrows down my choices when I have to decide what to buy or what to wear for that day. And that way of automating things makes it much easier. Other examples of preparing your choices beforehand include batch work days. So basically deciding what type of work you'll do on each day of the week. So then when you sit down, you know exactly what you're doing. You're moving the needle on those important things. Or you could even batch your meal days by having things like Taco Tuesdays or Pizza Fridays. As Barack Obama explained it, you need to focus your decision-making energy. You need to routinize yourself. You can't be going through the day distracted by trivia. And I think on that, now that's a great place to end. Those are my tips on how to automate your life and save time so you can spend more time doing the things that light you up. I would love to end this episode by offering an intention for you this week. May your life be full of things that light you up. Namaste. But you're giving it to